Just wrapped up an interview with my client, Karan, who is an Indian man living in Charlotte, North Carolina. Karan literally went from the quintessential Asian nice guy to an actually grounded and centered masculine man who women are now actually chasing after. Here's his before and after in terms of online dating. In this video, you're going to hear more about how he's learned about the Asian attraction blueprint, use that to get an abundance of dates, and now has women chasing him for relationships and intimacy. Enjoy. All right, guys. So here I'm today with my client, Karan, who has recently, through the program, massively boosted his masculinity, which has led to more matches, more dates, and more intimate experiences with women. So he's here to share a little bit about that transformation that he's gone through. First of all, man, just thank you for being here.
Yeah, thanks for having me, man. I appreciate it.
Absolutely, dude. Let's dive into it, man. So I'm curious, like, what made you join the Asian Dating Academy in the first place?
Yeah, man, that's a great question. I actually often saw your Instagram posts it just randomly came up. Maybe it's just like, how the algorithm always goes to Instagram, like, oh, this is
yeah.
with this. But anyways, I came across your post a lot and it really resonated with me. The biggest thing is I do feel like, why wasn't I being as successful as my other friends who are like not Asian, right? Yes, like, and I've worked on myself a lot, whether it's physical fitness, a lot of other stuff, but there's always a little bit of a barrier. And it kind of, what you mentioned on these calls is honestly really resonated with me. Like, Asian men statistically have a higher chance of not getting matches, right? You have to work on so much on whether it's your profile, all that stuff, having good quality pictures, right? So anyways, for me, I was getting to a point in my life, I was a little frustrated, right? And I'm still working. It's always like a work in progress. I think that's the best part of being a human. We're always growing, right? But to me, that really resonated with me. And yeah, like and then I saw the success as well. Not only that, you also posted success stories of your clients, and I was like, shit, I want to be that person. So that really resonated with me, stood out to me a lot.
Well, beautiful, man. Beautiful. I'm super glad you're here with us. Now look at you. You are one of the success stories, which is one of the mindsets that I see of the successful students is like, I want to be like XYZ successful person, right? They come in with that, I'm going to make that happen attitude. Yeah, dude, what have been your biggest results since joining the program?
Yeah, one thing and I will probably die by the sword on this, is communication and masculinity has been really, really important for me, right? I will say when I joined the program, I was in a relationship, situationship, whatever you want to call it, right?
Sure.
For there, my communication wasn't great, but also like I kept watching the posts as well. And I will say I got a little bit later on the program than I wanted to, but it put me on the right track, and I'm really happy to be part of it, right? So communication and masculinity, and that's something I remember you always talking about. Talking slower, or just looking them intently in the eyes, stuff like that. It really does make a difference, and honestly, it's really the only reason I've had a lot of success, or I will say, and I want a lot more success, but it's the reason I've had success in the last few months. It's a huge thing.
Let's dive into that, man. So communication, masculinity, what does that mean? What have you improved upon in those areas specifically?
Absolutely. So to me, masculinity is, it's nothing toxic. I feel like the word gets tossed around as a toxic term nowadays. I don't really believe that. I think that's bullshit. What it really is to me, is being a leader, taking a lead, executive decisions, right? And I still catch myself doing this a lot, but I will say my older self has always been like, oh, what do you want to do? Oh, yeah, let's do this. No, just fucking make a decision, right? Be adamant on it. So I think taking a lead, and just, like whether even it's going on a date, right? And also I think confidence is very key. It's a part of it. Direct, strong eye contact is huge, right? So that's another part of being masculine, I think. So yeah, man, just being a leader, knowing what you want in life as well. So that's the masculinity part. And what was the other question you said? The communication?
Yeah, communication. Like what are the parts of communication, especially with women, that you struggle with, and what has changed since joining the program?
Yeah, absolutely. So one thing I will say is I have been a people pleaser all my life.
Hmm.
And again, these are things I still catch myself doing at times, but I'm so much better now since I started the program, right?
Hmm.
Being a people pleaser, and I think it's embedded in the culture. It doesn't matter what part of the Asian culture you're from, whether, whatever country you're part of, but I think for me, that was a big thing. Just very hard to say no. I didn't want to hurt their feelings. Oh, but no. Very recently, I set boundaries with a girl. I'm still dating her, right?
Hmm.
But that's the first time in my life I ever set boundaries with somebody, and the
Hmm.
way she actually reacted was really, oh shit. The way she actually reacted, so I cut out there my screen. The way she reacted was actually really, really nice. Because she actually respected it. She gave me my space, and she's all about it, right? Whereas in my previous experience, I would walk on eggshells and not get
Yep.
to the point,
Hmm.
just so I can people please. So I think to me, I want to continue growing it, and yeah, it's been good.
Yeah, I remember when you shared that screenshot of what happened with that girl. It was like you implemented your boundary that you had some fear around putting out, but then it's like the classic people pleasing mindset, right? Like if I don't if I push the person away, they're gonna leave me or they're not gonna love me. I'm not worthy anymore, right? Things like that, which I had 1000%, right? But when you put
Wow.
that boundary up for yourself, you say, hey, this is where I'm at, take it or leave it. And what you saw in that scenario was the girl actually respected that, which increases her attraction, which makes her chase harder, which you didn't
Yeah.
expect that, right?
Not at all. And she was like, she said, wow, you basically friend zoned me. So I was like, wow, okay. That's the first time in my life where I actually friend zoned a woman. So yeah, it absolutely increased her attraction towards me. And like literally the week after we hooked up, which is like, wow, what the fuck? That's
Would you look at
crazy.
that?
Actually, a few days later, not even a week afterwards. So like,
Yeah, yeah.
that's
And just
awesome.
to put everything in context for anyone who's watching, basically, I mean, sometimes you're going to be, going on dates with a girl that maybe you don't see it going long term, right? It's going to happen all the time.
Yeah.
That's what was happening to you. And, you made it clear with her that that was the case, even though she seemed like she was pushing for a little bit more. So you were willing to let her walk away, which then made her chase even harder and fall into your frame of like, hey, we're going to just, have a fun time, be casual with each other, but not pursue something long term because that's not what I'm wanting right now. So amazingly done, man.
And
Amazingly done.
no,
Did you have
thanks.
something to add?
And one thing I just want to say, one thing what's really resonated to me through the course has been I always notice whether it's the different coaches or whoever and you as well saying that make sure that she's qualifying yourself to her.
Mm,
She's qualifying herself to you, not the other
bingo.
way around.
Bingo.
Right? Because it's that mentality of like you are the prize. Yes, there's a lot of beautiful women out there, but what I've learned in the last few months, man, beauty is not everything. As much as we want it, as much as we
Uh-huh.
love it, we're fucking men, right?
Yep.
Beauty is not everything. Personality really matters a lot too.
Yeah.
It really, really does. The
Yeah.
character.
Well, not only is beauty not everything, beauty is everywhere. Like there are so many beautiful girls. If one doesn't work out, you're gonna find more, dozens, especially if you have the skill set that you develop through this program. So at some point, you just become like desensitized to beauty. You're like, cool, another hot girl, right? And then at that point, you
Absolutely.
really reach the level where you're like, well, guess what? What do you bring to the table other than your looks,
Mm.
right? If I spend an hour with you, am I annoyed?
Yeah.
Or am I intrigued? Am I feeling connected? Am I feeling loving, supported? Am I feeling any of these other things that I need in my life as a man besides just, a pretty woman on my arm? Right. So that's really the whole point, I believe, of this dating journey is to go from a place of scarcity, like you said,
Mhm.
where I have to step on eggshells to please every girl, to, hey, I'm going to say no to you because you don't fit the bill of what I'm looking for. You don't add value to my life. I'm going to choose. Right. And then from that place, you can actually enter a long term relationship where you've made an active, conscious choice of like, you're the one I want to be with, not
Yeah.
I can't be with anyone else. So I'm going to be with you.
That's awesome, man. Honestly, that's just such a great mindset. I'm so glad you're like preaching this to everyone. It's just it matters. It really does matter. Like seriously.
Yeah. Yeah. That's what this is all about, man. So, um, walk us through, man. I mean, what's been the process like of, being in the Asian Dating Academy? What's it been like just being on the inside?
Yeah, one thing I love about the academy is like one example is a Discord group, right?
Hmm.
It's a community of guys, and there's guys in there who are so successful. And honestly, I love cheering them on because it's so motivating for the other ones. You see stories on posted on there every
Yeah,
day
yeah,
of
yeah,
coaching. Somebody had sex, somebody went on the great date,
yeah.
little things
Hmm.
like that. Not little things. That's actually big things,
Yeah, yeah.
right? That's a huge thing. So I think it's a nice community. And I actually just moved to a brand new city from Austin. I live in Charlotte, North Carolina right now. That being said, I don't. I mean, it's gonna take time for me to make friends. I've only been there a month, right? That being said, I think it just keeps me nice and stable. Having this group is just very motivating.
Hmm.
So that's
Hmm.
one thing, right? I think also I really underestimated how much you have to really invest in um, the picture taking process, right? So yes, professional photography is one thing, but man, figuring out what the hell you need to wear,
Hmm.
like it's the little details to me that was like, this is crazy. It's a
Mm.
good crazy, but like
Hmm.
I would never thought to do that. You have to get the right outfit. You
Yep.
have to go to a photo feeler. Like the background, everything, even the poses, right? Like you
Yep.
posted a video about the poses, whether it's like the Tom thingy, all those little things really do matter a lot, right? So
Yeah.
it's to me, I initially underestimated it. I'm like, okay, I'll do it when I do it, but when I actually did it, I was like, wow, this is pretty damn important.
It's a thorough process, like fine-tuned over years from my own experience. But for real,
Hmm.
it's like, um, you froze for a second. So I'm gonna
Oh, you froze as well. Okay, okay, you're back. I'm back as well. Yeah,
yeah.
we both froze.
No, yeah, it's a very thorough process, fine-tuned over years from my experience. Um, because frankly, I mean, as Asian guys, we just cannot take the easy way out. We cannot just take the shortcut, right? We can't just take some selfies with our iPhone or whatever the case is. Like, if you don't have every fucking small thing on point, the lighting, the photo, the posing, the facial expression, the
Yeah.
clothing, the whatever, the everything. If you don't have that, like, good luck. Good fucking luck. Um,
Wow.
and even when you have that, you need to stack more things on top of that. You need good text game. You need, to go on dates and to be able to communicate in a certain way, all of that stuff, right? Just to be able to stand out, to be able to get a chance. But as you've seen, right? Like, I mean, like the Asian thing, I've seen time and time again. You can speak to this in a second, but I've seen time and time again that once a guy does all of those things, once they max out all their stats in those areas, the Asian thing goes out
Yeah,
the window. It's like, does it really hold you back anymore? Like,
I see. Yeah, no, that's pretty neat, man. And yes, like I'm still going through the process, right? I've had success so far, which I'm so happy about, but I want even more. I want a shit ton of more success. I cannot wait. Literally, I
it's
cannot wait to
coming.
get there. Like I feel like I'm just starting. Like this is like scratching the surface, you know?
Absolutely.
And when you hear about other people too, it's so cool. Like even man, those group calls, by the way, Mondays,
Yeah.
Thursdays, whatever.
Yeah.
Um, I wish I joined those earlier, and because if I had one regret, I would say not joining earlier because you learn so much, right?
Yeah.
And I think that's where I got advice from you about like when I was asking you, hey man, like I like this girl, but she doesn't check all the boxes.
Yep.
What do I do on a second date? And you're like, no, dude, you're like, okay, don't think too long term. It's only a second date. Still get to know her, and then if you feel like from there it's not she's not the one or whatever she is, right? Not long term, have open communication with her, and as a result of that, it's been pretty fun, you know. So it's good.
Yeah. 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 Good, man. That's a huge thing that I rant about all the time is just show up. Like just show up to the calls, right? If even if you're not feeling motivated or you had a bad day or you don't think you're going to get anything out of this call because you have no questions, like
Yeah,
guys, time and time again, just because they show up, they get something out of it, usually unexpected, or an ass kicking from me because that's what they needed.
But and it goes the same for, the program, right? This is going to sound like super self-promotion, but like most of the time, guys have their dating lives just like on autopilot, right? But as soon as you're into something, you're committed. I mean, I've seen you take more action in the last few months than, you were before, like by far, and look at the results that you're getting because, you committed, you went all in. Um, Another topic that I wanted to touch on is the community, right? You mentioned like interacting with people in the
Yeah.
Discord, but also, like you said, you're going to New York in a few months, and there's guys in New
Mhm.
York, and the guys there are approaching, and you also want to do that. So it's like now you have wings, you have friends to network with, you have like people to talk to when you go to a new place. What's that been like for you in terms of like being able to connect with others in the community?
Oh man, that's been great, man. I feel like it's so much easier to approach as a group. And I've been doing that for I would say almost a year, even joining the community, but it even makes it better with the community. Like asking friends in Austin did that way, right? But when I'm alone, I have a lot of approach anxiety.
Yeah,
I'm working on it. I did a nice approach today, which I'm very proud of, right?
cool.
That being said, when you see that in the Discord group with the community here, and I think maybe it was your immersion. One of the guys actually had success as a result of a cold approach. This is
Yep.
awesome. So my key takeaway what I'm saying is it's really cool that there's motivation and it makes you want to approach like, oh shit, that guy did it, dude. Like I want to do
Hmm.
it too, man. Like I want to be like you,
Yeah.
and I would like for you to be like me,
There
if
you
I
go.
have success in that person. It's awesome. It's awesome.
That's amazing, man. That's what I love the most about the community is like anybody, like, because people are constantly posting and sharing about what they're doing. So all the other people are watching and being like, wow, I can learn something from that. I should step up my game, right? It's like a
Yeah.
rising tide lifts all ships. And you can be that person too, whether you realize it or not. Like, you know, even if you're, somewhat early in the journey compared to some other people, you're actually very far in the journey compared to some other people. Um,
I see.
so yeah, man, this is amazing. What would you say to anybody who's thinking about joining the Asian Dating Academy?
Yeah, man, I would say do it. Like literally, that's one of the biggest things. Like seriously, do it. It really does matter. Like I said, Asian guys, yes, we have a disadvantage, but for me, I'm not gonna use that as an excuse. I'm gonna use that as something motivational, and we just have to adapt to how it is, right? We just have to adapt, and I think this course kind of does a nice job in getting you through the process and really showing the best optimal version of yourself, right? Which is really important. Yeah, man, and also joining a community. I think I will highly recommend it. And another thing I would say to somebody who's joining, I know I said this a million times, but this is so close and personal to me. The masculinity thing is fucking huge, man, dude.
Hmm.
It's like it matters so much. It's crazy. The result, even the damn text messages I get
Yeah,
about all these I won't say it for the purposes of this, but
sure.
inappropriate text messages, all that shit. It's awesome. Like wow, like I would have never imagined that to happen to me a year ago. Like literally, I was not that guy,
Uh-huh.
and it's really cool to be on this journey. And I will say the Asian Data Academy is a big part of that.
Beautiful, man. Well said. Congrats on the successes, and thank you for sharing.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Thank you so much.